Hey there, my name is Florian. Today I want to give you a quick demo of pipe0 Sheets. It has just been announced this week and it's a full UI-based clay alternative that doesn't have a lot of the limitations that the current generation of enrichment tools has. That means if you frequently run against this limit of the maximum of 50,000 rows per table that you see in a lot of the current enrichment tools, you can store millions of rows in a pipe0 table. Pipe0 tables are also 6 to 12x more cost effective than the current generation. They are multiplayer by default. They have point-in-time recovery for tables. So if you mess up your table, you can go back to a previous point in time where your table was still intact. They have a test mode available, so you can test all your enrichments with test data without consuming credits. And there's a full API integration. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. This is not just a just one-to-one clay replacement. This is trying to build something that is much more powerful and is much more inspired by the current generation of developer tooling out there, and asking how the lessons learned there can be applied to data enrichment. Cool, let's look at a real world example. So all I did here is I created a search and I asked EXA, which is a data provider, to find me software development agencies based in Munich, Germany, and software development agencies that are specialized in mobile development. And for some reason, EXA did not return the website of these software development agencies. But this is what enrichment is for. So we have this company identity pipe here that finds the website for companies as well as their LinkedIn profile and a cleaned company name. So let's simply run this enrichment here to get that data for our 5 results. All right, this is already looking pretty good. Next, I may want to find even more information about a company. I may want to scrape their website or feed their information into an LLM prompt, or just get some basic information like a company description or the latest news. But I'm actually not sure what I want to do next. And I want to be a bit careful with my credits. So I'm changing into the sandbox environment. And now my table is in sandbox environment. And I will just add an enrichment, which is the company overview here. And this will add information like the company industry, company region, estimated revenue, founding year, and a company description. Great, cool. Let's run this enrichment, but remember we're in test mode. So what we'll see is a lot of test data. Don't expect this to make too much sense here. This is just to validate that you structured your table correctly. All right, great. I'm pretty happy with this. So I think I would like to run this in production. And for this, I can simply switch my table back into production mode. And what you will see is that all the data that was generated in test mode is automatically deleted now. And we can run this enrichment in production mode and get the real results. Cool. Let's wait a second while this runs, while we get the data back to show you the next feature. All right, great. We got the information back, but we can also see that one company is maybe not labeled correctly by EXA because the headquarter is listed in Houston, Texas. So we may want to find out if they really have a subsidiary in Munich. Cool. So the next thing that we want to look at is point-in-time restoration, because that's a super common frustration with the current generation of enrichment tools. And for this, we can simply create time travel points here, and then we get a full list of the operations we performed on our table. And we can simply travel back to a previous time, of the previous state of the same table. So this is, for example, the state before or after we switched our table back into production mode. And as you can see, this is the state before we run our enrichment here. This is already great. But there are two more things I wanted to show you in this quick demo. And one thing is these analytics here. So this has also been like a super long running frustration with a lot of the existing enrichment tools. As you run more and more enrichments, you get more and more curious of how your enrichments actually perform, which providers are able to deliver reliably good data. And for this, you need some kind of enrichment. And pipe0 provides a full enrichment for both sandbox and production data. You can see all your enrichment runs. For waterfall enrichments, you can see how each individual provider of the waterfall performed. This is already super helpful. And then there's also the case where graphical UI-based enrichment simply cannot do the same thing that you want to do in code. Let's say you want to pre-process some data, or you simply want to monitor error states of your enrichment directly in your code. So there are many cases where it makes a lot of sense to have the automation and the enrichment part in your own code. And while pipe0 Sheets seems like it is a very custom application, and in a lot of ways it is, to make the scale of it possible, it is just built on top of the pipe0 API. And whatever you can do in a table, you can do natively with the API. So if you want to move the table code into your own code base, it is as simple as clicking on View Table as Code, and then you can copy a code-based version of your table into your own code. Also, the only enrichment tool where something like this is possible. Cool. All right, this was the demo of pipe0. I hope you found it interesting. I really think this is the next generation of enrichment tooling and the capabilities that the current generation of enrichment tooling should have. I'd love to try it out with you. If you have a use case for data enrichment, let me know, and see you soon.